What has made you realize you were getting old? I, 25M. Recently took my little sister, 14, out shopping to get ready for back to school. She wanted to go to Hollister for some jeans and said okay. Haven't been there in a while, let's go. God damn did it make me feel old. Everywhere I looked there were middle schoolers, early high school kids buying stuff that for me seemed not so long ago since I also bought. There were pictures of teenagers that my sister had to point out were popular TikTokers. I knew none of those people. There was music playing that I had never heard, and the people that looked my age were the store managers, and truth be told they looked funny wearing the store's clothes. I knew my tastes had changed since I was their age, but to see it so blatantly in front of me gave me an existential crisis. You will really feel old the first time you fall down and people rush to see if you are okay instead of just laughing at you and making fun. I work as a DJ and play a lot of nightclubs and festivals. I'll never forget the exact moment I knew I was getting old. I was playing a festival, 1 a.m., packed tent, I'm psyched. I look out into the crowd and the whole front row looked like children to me. I wanted to give them a hot chocolate and call their parents. Then I realized it was an 18+ event and they were probably all 18 to 21. Why? Oh. Also, side story for feeling old. Sometimes I'll have the crowd in my hands, decide to play what I'd consider a sure shot floor filler, it drops and bang, nobody recognizes it. This happened last weekend with Forgot About Dre. They didn't forget about Dre, they just never knew him. A kid starts asking me 20 questions, I answer him, his older brother grabs and says he's a grown-ass man, stop bothering him. I do not accept the responsibility that comes with that title. When people started to address with me, sir, in the gym. People my age described as soon-to-be hopeless cases in sports. There he is, 28, playing out his last string as a professional. It's a miracle. You were getting old? I, 25M, well, I was going to say first gray hairs in my beard, but damn, son, that's a double punch to the chin right there. 25, and calls himself old. Dude, you basically just stopped growing. Couple of years ago, I was supervising a Lollapalooza charter on a double-decker bus from Union Station train, think Suburb Kids, to the music festival. I had Outkast's Hey Ya playing and someone asked if we had to listen to old music. When somebody online said to me, I don't listen to dad rock, when I said I like Radiohead I spontaneously aged by 20 years. Fuck whoever said that. That song is fucking timeless. A girl in her 20s my sister works with said, I don't watch old TV shows when asked if she had ever seen Dexter. I thought that was pretty funny. Dex came out 15 years ago. First episodes of The Office, Always Sunny, and HIMYM came out at the same time. Reply with yes and then put Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries on. Seeing 20-year-old dudes retire from esports because their gamer reflexes aren't what they used to be. I do believe the people born from 2005-ish onwards are and will be a very different species. 90s kids got a taste of the old days before the internet really took hold. The 2000-born kids these days have been completely connected to the internet for life. 90s kids got a taste of the old days before the internet really took hold. There has been, in fact, such a cultural shift in such a short time that we have a micro-generation between the birth years of roughly 1978 to 1983. They got the full brunt of experiencing both the analog and digital worlds in their formative years, and are called the Oregon Trail generation, or, less catchy, Zennial. For me, early 30s, many of the heroes from the action movies I watched as a kid are now younger than me and look at news anchors and reporters, especially women, are starting to look young. I passed the age my father was when I was born, soon I'll be older than Jesus ever was. I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off for the first time since I was like 15 and I was rooting for Principal Rooney to catch that little shit. There's been some milestones. At 25 I realized I was a quarter-century old. That really stuck me. At 30 I was no longer a 20-something not recovering from a night out like I used to. Sometime during my late 30s realizing I no longer had the desire to go out on weekends. At 50 realizing I'm a half-century old, and not caring. Honestly, I liked my 50s. At 60 realizing I probably have more years behind me than ahead. I imagine the next one will be when I retire, but that's going to be pretty awesome. 68 is getting closer, only 7 more years. Obviously I look back at my 20s with a lot of fondness. Damn, but I had some fun. But oddly enough, outside of my 20s I think I liked my 50s the most. 30s and 40s are all about busting your ass at work. When I had to explain what a DVD per candela was to my cousin. All the DVDs he had ever seen were trash, so he genuinely thought, for years, that they were toys, until he received a PS2 and didn't see where he could play games. Realizing kids born in this century are now of drinking age. Still think of the 90s as being 10 years ago. I had to explain what Friendster and MySpace were like, to our social media coordinator whose was like 24 at the time. Was just too young to have ever used them and didn't know much about their popularity. Felt like an elder passing down oral tradition folktales. And then the townspeople learned HTML and broke our pages. Lol, one day, colleges will have a class called Internet. The early days, and it will be mandatory for like marketing people or computer science people. And students will have to sit through lectures about dial-up internet and MySpace to learn how the internet evolved. Ha ha ha. I hate to break it to you, it's already a thing. I had to learn about it in middle school. Delete this. Lol. It gets worse. Just wait until you're in your 60s. Yeah, I know. Okay boomer. Lol. I would take this comment as a joke, but your formatting and punctuation prove that you really are a boomer. The final lol is what seals the deal. There was a PlayStation 2 on display at the National Museum. How old am I? Holy fuck, you're not old. I'm 30 and young as fuck and so tired of my friends acting like we're old men and not wanting to do things anymore. It's just a mentality because popular culture is oriented to teenagers. We are in our prime until we're well into our 40s and can still be ballers after that. 30 is a weird age though. Like you could be married with kids, never married, divorced. It's just the wild west of ages and responsibilities. I know 30-year-olds with multiple roommates. I know some that have summer homes. And none of it sounds weird. When I got some pain in my back and wondered if it was going to last for a day, a week, or the rest of my life.